like, yes, and hello again, and so happy you're back from Bahrain. You know, it's just cool having you
Yeah.
back in the country. I mean, of
Yes.
course, it's a loss for Bahrain, and you know
Oh
what can you do? And you were pretty busy there.
yeah, I was. I was designing um, my collection and also, doing photo shoots and visiting with my son and his girlfriend, and just had an amazing time. I had a wonderful time. It's a beautiful place. The weather is great, and they're pretty much back to normal there. They're back to normal. They everyone there wears their mask. They don't have a problem with staying safe and make sure the next person is safe also.
Yeah.
And everything is open. You know. hmm
Yeah, and you said, that people are also getting tested, like when they go into the mall, they take your temperature.
Yeah, they do take your temperature when you go to the different stores. They're doing that as well. And then when I got to Bahrain, in the airport, they have it set up where they test you
Yeah.
before you go to your destination, and then they have you quarantine until you hear from them with your negative test.
Well,
Yeah, so it makes you feel good, like wow, yeah, like
so
it's not going to
so
be
so how
spreading.
was it? How was it coming back? I
The
mean,
same thing. I had to I had to go take another test
yeah,
before I came back because they give you 96 hours. The test that you take is good for 96 hours. But yeah, I had to do the same thing. I had to take a test and get a negative result, and then that's the only way they let you board because
yeah.
yeah.
So did you land in LAX or here in San Diego?
Actually, I landed in Chicago.
Oh,
hmm
yeah, your
Yeah,
port of
yeah.
entry. So
Uh,
so how was it there? Were there significant lines when you went through customs, or was it
it was
just, you know?
not in Chicago. It was not that many people at the airport at all. It was
Yeah.
not a lot of people, and with customs, the lines were very short. It was not a lot. I think I timed it like that. It wasn't a lot of people. Now, had I waited till next week, it might be a different story. you know,
Oh, that's
but
funny.
everything was wonderful. It
Yeah.
was, yes.
Well, that's good. And then you
Mhm.
got the domestic flight from Chicago to San Diego.
Yes, yes.
And was that busy or
Yeah, it was pretty full. It was pretty full. Yeah.
so were you able then to socially distance in the plane, or did you have someone sitting actually next to you?
You know what? I had a whole row to myself. It
Well,
was just
okay,
a
that
divine.
qualifies as socially distancing.
Yes, but now everybody else didn't. I don't know. It just worked out like that for me. You know.
Hey, Liz, you know you're special. You know you're special.
Yes, yes,
Oh
yes.
gosh, I love it.
So I'm glad to be back. And seeing our audience and you know, um, our special guest today. We have two special guests
Yeah. Well,
today.
and on that note, let me actually admit Dr. Rasha Roshdi.
Okay.
Um,
Hello.
hello, Dr. Roshdi.
Hi.
Can you hear us already?
Yes.
Ah, that's good. We can hear and see you.
Hello,
Well,
Dr. Roshki. How are you?
How are you?
Great.
welcome to the show.
Thank you for
Ye-
having me.
Yes,
And
welcome. I love your background.
Thank you.
it looks very, very festive, but I think that also goes back to your roots.
Yes, the family has been, and the family rug is the one displayed behind, and then you could see the lantern.
Uh-huh.
It's a Moroccan lantern. We light it up in Ramadan, and I have it all year round.
Well,
Okay.
I think that's fair. I know someone who has a Christmas tree all year round. Um, I don't want to speak too much about it because that could get awkward. He might be watching. So,
Mm.
well, Dr. Rush, I mean, I'm so glad you could make it on the show. And I would like you to give our viewers a little bit of your background first before um, we get actually to your nonprofit,
Okay.
because it's quite a history. And um, if you could also already work your grandmother in, because she's a very
Of
important
course.
part
Of
of
course.
that story and how you got to get your nonprofit.
Um, well, of course, I will start from the beginning. So I was born in Cairo, Egypt, and I married an American soldier many years ago, and I came to the U.S. I opened a nonprofit to honor my grandmother. My grandmother was quite the philanthropist. She wasn't allowed to continue school. She came from a good family, and good family that you get a suitor, you get married, and you become dependent, and that's it. She wasn't allowed to finish school, and she really wanted to. So what she did is that she helped all the women in the neighborhood who wanted to put their kids to school, who were didn't have the financial means. Any woman who uh, got divorced or became a widow. When a society makes women financially dependent on the man, if the man all of a sudden is gone by sudden death or divorce, or so, like, the women become so helpless. And at that time, her help to other women was very significant. um, so I wanted to honor her name and start a nonprofit that does the same, help refugees and immigrants who don't have the financial means, and don't know how to enter the workforce yet, and they need all the cultural lessons. And that's another thing that was personal to me. When I came here, there was a lot of cultural lessons I had to learn the hard way. So I was like, somebody need to help others learn this without, I believe the people we meet when we first come to the US either make us or break us.
Mhm.
They either prepare you to enter the society and become a productive member, or help keep you marginalized. So that's what I wanted to do. No one was there to teach me the difference between, like, for instance, I came from a society where everything was cash based. And
Yeah.
I came here and there were credits, and I didn't understand credit at the time. And I was like, yay, charge cards. Things like that, like simple lessons that would save them a lot of agony later on. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, to give the help that I never received when I first came here.
Mm.
That is that's a very noble goal. But okay, that was now the condensed 3-minute fast version.
Yes.
Um, you happen to have a doctorate.
Yes, doctorate in education.
Exactly. And you started your how shall I say, your education not in the US.
Correct. I
Mhm.
had a bachelor degree from Egypt. I had a degree from La Sorbonne, a superior diploma. They call it diplôme supérieur in French literature. Um, but I did not speak English before I came to the US.
Wow.
So I was bilingual, Arabic and French, but I did not speak English. And I spoke very little. And it was, yeah, I had to teach myself. And the first time I grabbed the book in English and grabbed the notebook to dictionary to find out all the words I didn't know. There were like 300 words I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'll just have to memorize. It was not easy, and I was like, oh, I had to memorize the Quran when I was young. I'll memorize. It was not the easiest transition. Language proficiency goes a long way, and if you didn't speak it, um, I actually wanted to have a master in education, so I joined from the U.S. When I first came. I was able to enter the program, and then the professor was like, "What are you doing here? You're not gonna make it. You're just wasting your money and time." And I was like, "No, I'll make it. It's gonna take longer." And then he was trying to convince me. I believe in good intention. He had good
Yeah.
intention. He grabbed the book and he said, "You see the words in this book? You would have to write a dissertation. You will never be able to write one like this."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, challenge accepted." and and so on. I had to spend a lot of hours. Every assignment that took people half an hour took me 4. But I made it.
Wow.
You
Are
made
you
it.
self-taught? Did you pretty much teach yourself how to speak English?
um yes, pretty much. I took
Wow.
um well, I didn't know at the beginning too, because I wasn't like, I didn't know the difference. I thought, oh, I'll just put myself in front of the TV and I'm gonna learn everything. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Right, right,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah, it took a lot of effort and time to learn English, and so yeah, the language, the culture, I learned firsthand how difficult that is. And but I think when I meet somebody who think that they will never integrate in the society because they
Mhm.
don't, I say, yeah, you can. If I did it, you can. uh,
Right, exactly.
yeah, it's just harder, but you'll get there.
Well, yeah, but that kinds of, you know, um, that builds the bridge actually to your nonprofit. Helping people to integrate. And currently, if I'm not mistaken, you're having a toy drive.
Yes. Well, I was some of the families I talk to and serve, they live on a very, very limited budget. And I noticed in one of the houses there was no toys. There were 6 children and no toys. So I talked to the mother. I was like, "Why is there no toys?" And she said, "Well, I'd rather buy diapers or food. These are the necessity." And then it like dawned on me, yes, if you have limited resources, you don't see the value behind toys. And being an educator, and I just couldn't. I said, we need toys. We need educational toys, and it's going to help their cognitive development, and it's absolutely necessary. We think of toys as non-essential, and it's absolutely essential. Um,
Right.
so I started a toy drive. Initially, I was like, "Oh, let's see if I can get 100 toys for 100 children."
Hmm.
And then the families kept telling each other, "Hey, there is this nonprofit that could bring your children toys." So the number grew to 150, then to 160. So yeah, it's just kept. There are children who have no toys whatsoever. So initially, I even collected gently used toys, and but donation kept coming, and so
Hmm.
it's all working out. I believe it's going to be a successful toy drive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have a question about your women's your nonprofit. Which who are the women that will benefit from this? Is it the women here in America, or just
Yeah.
women all over the world, or who benefits? Who is eligible for this?
So really the refugees and immigrant in the US coming from anywhere. Right now we have a lot of Syrian refugees and Afghan refugees, but those are just the ones that came to the nonprofit. I'm sure we'll expand to more, but it's only for US residents, whether they
Oh.
are refugee. We try to focus on the newcomers because
Mm-hmm.
the newcomers absolutely have less than even people who've been here 5 years or
Mm-hmm.
more. So we try to focus on immigrant and refugees who've been here less than 5 years.
Okay. Okay. So is it mostly monetary, or do you help them get settled in a place, or what actually do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, please do. Well, we do a variety of things. We one of the program is called Bless These Hands, because some of the women come and they have manual skills. They can cook, they can bake, they can
Yeah.
sew. So in this program, we try to see what are their strengths and build on it and help them monetize it. So there is a woman who knew how to make dessert, and she makes the best baklava ever. So we helped her get the food handling license, and now she can sell her baklava. There is a couple of women who know how to sew, so we got them sewing machines and help pay for their sewing license, the tailoring license, and got them
Mm-hmm.
fabric and got them to start produce few items. And we actually bought all the bags that they created, and we
Mm-hmm.
use it for donor appreciation. We give out the bags that was created by some of the women in our program. So we try to see they come, maybe they didn't finish their education, they came
Mm-hmm.
from culture that didn't really value women finishing their education, but they have skills, they know how to sew, they know how to cook, they you know so we figure let's just help them with that, help highlight their strengths and help them make money from it. And it's very emotionally rewarding to see them get paid for the first time in their life and feeling like, oh, now I can support my children. It's
Mm-hmm.
this is like one of the programs we have. And we try to do some other things. Hopefully in the new year we'll try to start a language literacy one, where we help them take classes. Our first initiative when COVID hit, this is how we started. We realized that a lot of the people are, since everything went online, if you didn't have online access, you didn't have laptops, you were literally in prison. Right? You had no
Yeah.
access to a lot of service and and school and all of this. So the first
Mm-hmm.
initiative, we wanted to bridge that digital gap, and we got laptops, we give them digital literacy training, and that was the first program. And some of the women were able to apply for English classes online and started. So we want to do more of that. We want to maybe continue, have a second round of giving for the laptop and the digital literacy training. And you know, it was kind of fun to teach somebody who never touched a computer before how to open it, how to start, how to shut it down, how create an email for the first time. So my volunteers had fun teaching the course, and we partnered with San Diego Future Foundation. They give
Mm-hmm.
us the curriculum, the digital literacy curriculum, and we taught their curriculum, but we were able to teach it in the native language.
Wow.
Wow.
And that what made the difference. They were able to understand it, whether it was in Pashto, the language in Afghanistan, and Farsi for the Iranian refugees, and some of people in Afghanistan actually speak Farsi as well. A version of Farsi is called Dari. So we were
Mm-hmm.
able to teach it in Dari, Pashto, and in Arabic. And uh, you know the women were able to have their own laptop, uh, take classes online. You
Mhm.
know, some of the families, of course, shared with their children because, you know, school went online. So we're hoping to continue this in 2021, give a second round for bridging the digital gap. Um, so it's educational. It's how can we get them to better join the workforce. Uh, you know, we have different programs. We started the program completely by accident. There
Mm.
was I visited one family and I noticed that they have like absolutely nothing. They have cushions on the floor. They had nothing,
Yeah.
and they were newcomer. And I was I went through the finances to see how much aid they get, how much, and there was barely anything left. So I said, maybe what we will do is once a month we'll raise fund for one family. So we study cases of that month, and then we highlight one family that we could help for that month.
Mhm.
So it has been very successful. We were able to get help for one family a month. So like we call it the family of the month, where we help them with whatever we like. One family, we got the father was elderly, so we were able to get him a chair where he could sit more comfortably, the shower chair, cane, walker. He didn't know that you could have a walker.
Wow.
There are simple things that if you don't know, you don't know. He didn't have it.
Right.
He didn't know you could get a walker. There is another family who couldn't pay their bills, and we were able to negotiate for them and help them, um, you know, manage their finances better.
Mhm.
So that's what I
So,
think this program will continue because it's
yeah.
definitely, uh, even if it's one family a month and it's going to be only 12 families a year, it
Mhm.
still makes a lot of good.
So, Dr. Rushdie, before we actually admit our next guest, um, there was still a question I wanted to ask because you're dealing with refugees, which is a totally different type of people, like immigrants, which actually want to come to America and
Mhm.
want to immerse into the culture and these are basically people which were like, how shall I say, which are fleeing their country because of political reasons, wars raging, and just trying to find a safe place, and very often don't even know where they're going to land.
Yes.
So how what's the mechanism which is trying to deal with that, to how should I say, introduce them to our culture?
Mhm.
Um, I see your point, but none of the refugee came directly from Syria. They had been refugee for a number of years before they were able to come to the US. Some of
Yeah,
them lived in other Arab country where their kids were not allowed to join public schools because they are refugee. Some of them were in Turkey and couldn't get a job because they weren't allowed to work. So even within the refugee who come to the US, it's like they won the lottery of refugee because,
Mm.
believe it or not, comparing the American society to many other society, we are still welcoming to refugees, and it's easier to give them support. It's easier, like whoever sponsored for them to come, like IRC or other, like initially when we started, we partnered with IRC and asked for their list of people that could use the digital gap. We are all cooperative in the space. Whenever it comes to refugee, you will find collaboration within the nonprofit. We're all trying to help the same people. If I couldn't help somebody, I could refer them
yeah.
to another nonprofit. It's very welcoming space. in the US. Regardless of what we might think, it's actually better than the rest of the world as far as accepting refugee and helping them. So that's
Right.
the big story.
You know what? This is a great message, just to send out
Yes.
there, for the holidays and how should I say, that even makes me feel good. When you say that, that we seem to be or are more welcoming than other countries to refugees. That's a great thing.
Yeah, it is.
And, and American are more giving than any other society. I tell you, sometimes I walk my dog, talk to a complete stranger. Are you ready for Christmas? Yeah, I still have 40 more toys to go. And that stranger, a neighbor who lives 2 streets down, brought me 4 toys today. She
Oh,
doesn't
wow.
know me.
Cool.
We just chatted. I told her I'm 40 toys short. She brought me 4 toys.
That's cool.
That is wonderful. Well, I'm going to have your information, when I'm going to post, the recording on YouTube. So maybe that's going to drive some toys for you. There's one last thing before I switch to Kiani. By the way, Kiani, we don't hear or see you. So that's just a little. You just you just happened to join Rotary.
Yes.
What was your motivation?
I have seen Rotarian do great things in society internationally. 4 years ago, I held a campaign to try to start a clinic and supply it with medical equipment in one of the remote villages in Cairo that doesn't really get much love and supplies. And the Rotarian came through and I've always seen Rotarian do great things, and I felt like they are the modern day superheroes. So I want to become a Rotarian, become my superhero, and get instead of the cape, get the pin.
That
So
is great.
yeah, that I finally made it. I became one of the superhero Rotarian.
All right,
Well, that's what,
congratulations.
yeah, congratulations. And being a Rotarian myself, I'm going to be sure you're going to be fine because you're not wearing your pin. But that's on a totally personal note. And I had to literally stick it there.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
Oh,
All
Liz,
right. All
and
right.
please,
Okay.
Rasha, please, if you would like to stay on, please do. We have an open mic at the end of the show. If not, you can also just leave us and I won't hold it against you.
Thank you. I have to actually go to meet a donor. So thank you so much. I'll watch the recording, and it was really nice to meet you, Liz. And
I enjoyed having you on the show today.
thank
Enjoyed you so much.
And Kiani, I'm gonna listen to you when I see the recording.
All right, take care, and I'll be in touch. Maybe donate some toys.
I'll hold you to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Well, hello, Kiani.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Oh,
Good.
we're doing awesome.
Good.
We're doing awesome. Yes.
Liz,
So,
go ahead.
all
Go
right.
ahead,
So
because
let me
I
have the
want to know
honors.
more. I want to know more about Kiani.
All right. Let me have the honors. Let me do the honors of introducing our next guest. We have Kiani Nelson. She is an actor and also, I call her a powerhouse singer. Yes, you have an amazing voice. You have a beautiful gift, and you're using your gift. And I can totally respect that. I mean, you have a beautiful voice, and she's locally here from San Diego. Kiani, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes. Thank you for the fabulous introduction. I was born and raised in San Diego. When I was younger, I was a big sports girl. I played fast pitch softball for around 12 years. And then I started doing theater in an after school theater program, and I was like, this is it. I got to do this. And so I auditioned and went to college in New Jersey. I attended Montclair State University, where I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in musical theater. And I graduated from there in 2017. And ever since then, I have been in and out of New York, doing shows, contracts at different places, and just doing it. Yeah.
All right. It's amazing. You go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
Sorry, it was like, but at what age? You know, did you feel like, oh my God, I have that gift?
Well, my mother can sing, and my father is a musician, and they went to performing arts high school in San Diego. So I guess it was at a very early age. My mother started recording me when I was 2, noticing that I could like hold notes, that I could sing.
At 2 years old.
There's videos of me just like singing on pitch, like, you know, you're just like, oh, there might be something there one day. But I think I want to say around like 11, 12 is when I was like, oh, this is something I could do.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so I have another question for you. As far as like auditions, could you take us through a couple of, auditions that you go on, and how do you decide which one is for you, just to kind of educate our audience?
Yes, absolutely. Musical theater auditions, and for plays, and for TV. So theater and TV auditions are different. Theater, musical theater, you're going to be singing. So if it's the theater has a union, which is called equity. So they have equity contracts and shows, and they have non-equity. I'm currently non-equity. So for that, I would either have to get up super early in the morning and go put my name on a list that they may or may not honor when you get inside. They usually do that. Or if I have an appointment through my agent, I would go in at my time, check in with the monitor who's there, hand them a headshot and resume, which is literally just a picture of my face. On the back, it says all what I've done, training. And then I go in and I pick a song based off of what shows they're doing. And how I figure that out basically is, in theater, we have types. Well, in everything you have types, but I want to say theater, they stand out more. So I know I'm not going to be going in for, I don't know, like, let's take Hairspray. I wouldn't go in for Amber, obviously, who is, the Miss Hairspray. She's a little white girl. I wouldn't go in for that because I know that's not something that I'm going to be able to play. Right. I would go in for more Motor Mouth, any one of the ensemble. Like, that is more what I'm geared towards. So I look for shows for parts that I can play and sing songs based off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If I may, I mean, I'm going to deviate a little bit. You brought up a very interesting point just right now, and I'm just, you said, okay, you have this, in Hairspray, you wouldn't play the part of a white girl. Now there is, I think there's big discussion going on of, that you can just go and, just, you don't look at the color and you just go, okay, yeah, it was a white girl who played this, but you know what? We have a black girl playing it, vice versa. So Is it you who wants to be diplomatic, or
Mhm.
is it you, the artist, who say, "Oh, that was written for that particular person, and you don't want to change the character"?
That's a very good question. I think that it's with a show like Hairspray,
Yeah,
you need both. You need the opposite skin tones for it to make
Mhm.
sense, because it's about civil rights and integrating TV and stuff like that. So Hairspray, I would say that it has to be the black and white, because that's just how you tell the story. Now, taking something like Cinderella, it was on Broadway a couple years ago,
Mhm.
and they had anyone playing, like Kiki Palmer played Cinderella,
Right.
because why not? She's Cinderella. She's
yeah,
made up. Like
Mhm.
her, and even we all love the Brandy Whitney Houston Cinderella
Mhm.
that they did um, a while ago. Like that's a Cinderella I grew up on, and everybody's every color in there, and it doesn't matter. Um,
Mhm.
so I think the conversation now is like, how do we add diversity to our casts where we can represent minorities in an amazing light, whereas before, and this I see this more in movies than I do on theater. It's like you were only
yeah.
seeing minorities as slaves or prostitutes, or you know like that's not the narrative we're telling anymore. We want to
Right.
see we want to see diversity in doctors and lawyers and
That's right.
police, like whatever, like it's
Mhm.
positions of power. And so I think in the TV film has a huge responsibility to do that, and I think theater is getting there, especially with shows like Hamilton. Like
Yeah.
wrote a story about the founding fathers, and everyone up on that stage is a minority. So
Right. Right. Exactly. So I have another question for you, and that was very well put. Very well said. So you just did a Christmas album with your dad, and your dad actually did our jingle. I want our guests to know that her dad did our jingle, which I get a lot of emails asking me, who did that? Who did that? So send them on to Russell Nelson's page. I was wondering, how did you guys come about, doing something like that, father-daughter? And could you elaborate a little bit about that?
yes, of course. So it was kind of out of the blue. It was in September, and my dad got home late from work one night, and I come out of my room and I said, I want to do a Christmas album. And he looked at me like, are you crazy? I was like, hear me out. I am going to get recording equipment. You do the music. I'll sing it. It's going to be great. And he was just kind of like, okay. And so I owe him a lot for just trusting me with
Mhm.
this crazy idea that I just had. But yeah, I am so blessed to have a father who can take that idea and just be like, no problem, I got you, and have the product be what it is.
Right. Exactly.
That that is great. And um, Liz, I think there was something else you wanted to ask.
Um,
It was about singing live on the show.
yes, I would. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. Can
Sorry,
we get
I couldn't, let that one go. I'm like, we have a singer here. Come on.
exactly? So we want to give our audience a little
Hold,
holiday
hold
treat.
on. I might have to get ready for this.
Oh, look at you! I'm jealous. Where's mine?
Okay. I,
Are
I'm,
you
I,
ready,
I'm,
Kiani?
I'm
I
ready.
am.
I'm ready and in the mood.
All
Yeah.
right, we're ready for whatever you have for us, Kiani. Take
Okay.
it away.
um I'm gonna sing my favorite Christmas song that we didn't get to put on the album, but I'm gonna sing it because it's
Okay.
my favorite. Old Mr. Kringle, soon gonna jingle the bells that'll tingle all your troubles away. Everybody's waiting for the man with the bag, 'cause Christmas is coming again. He's got a sleigh full that's not gonna stay full. He's got stuff to drop at every stop of the way. Everybody's waiting for the man with the bag, 'cause Christmas is here again. He'll be here with the answers to the prayers that you made through the year. You'll get yours if you've done everything you should. Extra special good will make this December just one you'll remember, the best and the merriest you ever did have. Everybody's waiting for the man with the bag, 'cause Christmas is here again.
Woo!
Loving
We
it.
love it.
Love
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. What a
Thank you.
great
That
voice.
is so awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So what are you planning for the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I just wrote a film that I'm trying to get filmed with my friends back in New York. I am hoping to put out new music. I'm hoping to maybe possibly go back and get my master's in acting. Yeah, I just always want to be learning. I always want to be creating and doing it with people I love. That's about it.
That is awesome. That's awesome. I have a question for you. Just say someone in the television world is actually tuning in.
Mhm.
Is there somebody that you would like to work with in the very near future?
Issa Rae. Issa Rae, absolutely. I got you. I got you. Find me something.
All right. I love her. I love her. Yeah. Okay, Issa Rae, we're going to keep our ears and eyes open. And this young lady is a powerhouse. Maybe you guys can connect. You never know who knows who and who's listening.
Yep.
Right, Eric?
All right. I'm totally right. And, we're going to have all the contact information, on our recorded show. So everybody can look it up. They will be able to find you. And if I'm not mistaken, you have actually a company which represents you.
Yes, I am represented by Avalon Artist Group. They have a New York office and an LA office. And you can find all of that information on my website.
All right.
There it is.
That's amazing. That is amazing. We certainly have enjoyed having you on today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
No, totally welcome. And what's always good when an artist, can sound live as when they are recorded.
Exactly. That's how you know it's a true talent. Oh, I need music behind me. Oh, okay.
Okay, go. Put the music on.
Yeah, that's right.
Kiani,
So,
thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And how they do in Europe, to the artist.
all right. Thank you, Kiani. I see you going
Thank
so
you for
far.
being.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, take
bye.
care. Bye-bye.
And before I actually stop our recording, I just wanted to say to all our viewers, thank you so much, for helping us for 2020, and we look forward to 2021. We will be back January 7th with 2 new guests and a little different look, if I do my homework right.
All right. And I'll make sure he does.
Yeah. Because if not, Liz is going to me, you were naughty, not nice.
That's right. Exactly. It's been an amazing year, everyone. Thank you. I'd like to thank you for your support.
Well, hey,
And
all our support,
that's
all
right.
the years.
Thank you so much.
Okay, see you all next year.
All right. Signing off. See you in 2021.